I want to be the oldest person. We got to take that guy out.
It'd be like a competition. Because you can't just wait them out. Because everybody lives forever. It'd be like a game of luck. Who doesn't get hit by a meteor for long enough? Hello and welcome to What's on the Fourth Floor. I'm your host, Carter Walford, together with my co-hosts,
Jacob Twibell.
Rebecca Fitzgerald.
Here we are for another riveting episode of What's on the Fourth Floor, and we're going to jump right in with What's With That. And because this is sort of the Thinking Man's podcast, I've got a couple questions that will, we're going to talk about morality and what's right.
Oh, this is going to be great.
And what would you do in certain situations? So my first question is the experience machine to you two. Say you are brought into a room with a machine, with a chair and a little helmet thing they would put on you. And they say when you get into this machine, you will experience the best life you can possibly have. It'll be sort of the most pleasurable. Everything will be great. And when you get in, you forget that you're in a machine. You'll think it's real. And everything's going to be absolutely perfect. But you can't get out. Once you're in, you're in for life, and in reality, you'll just be sitting there in a chair.
Now, is the whole world in your fantasy perfect, or is it just your life that's perfect?
If you value the world being perfect, the world is also perfect.
Okay.
Everything you want is the way the world is. So, I ask, do you get into the experience machine? Do you plug in and live a perfect life?
It's just like super virtual reality, but you just forget that you're in the virtual reality.
Mm-hmm. It's like, would you volunteer to be in the Matrix?
Ooh, another question with that. So the time that's passing in this virtual reality, is that the same as the time passing in reality?
Yes. When you die in virtual reality of like old age or what have you, that's when you die of old age in real life.
So you're kind of starting at the same age you're at now when you go into this.
You just like wake up, and it is as if that is your normal life. Nothing. Okay. You wouldn't notice anything out of the ordinary. And so, do you make the decision now in the real world to go in and strap in to the experience machine?
I don't want to answer first.
I don't want to answer first either.
It's a tough question. Is there a value to? Because like, if there's no value to the real world, if you don't care about reality, then it's an obvious answer. The answer is yes. Right. You get in because your life's better.
But you're leaving behind your family and people who care about you. Because here, you're just like in a chair and you're just totally disconnected, and they have to live with the knowing that you're just turned your back on them to live in this fantasy world.
Yeah. So it's like you have to make I guess would it be immoral to sit in the chair? Are you a bad person if you say, forget everyone who knows me and cares about me. I'm gonna go have a perfect life.
It seems like a selfish decision.
What if everyone gets these chairs? There's only one person gets these chairs.
See, that is a proposed answer to the Fermi paradox. Would one of you guys like to explain the Fermi paradox to our?
Isn't that where
to our
we
listeners?
should be finding other life in the universe, but we're not?
Mm-hmm. If intelligent life is a thing that can pop up every once in a while, well, where is it all? We look around, we don't see any radio waves from alien civilizations. And one proposed answer is that intelligent life progresses to a point where they can simulate a life that is better than any life they could possibly have, and then everyone just gets into it, and then the civilization goes away. It's like, and that happens on a relatively quick time scale when you talk about the whole universe. And so intelligent life is like a little flash in the pan. It always gets rid of itself in not too long. Proposed answer to the Fermi paradox. But anyways, do we get into the machine?
No, there's a part of me that goes, I'll be wrong because, it's my life and I should live my life as it's supposed to be. But it's also just like, what is life but your experience? Yeah. And if you could choose to have your experience be better than what it's going to be, like, why wouldn't you?
What if I alter the question to say you can have a trial run of a week, and then we'll pull you out and we'll say, okay, how was that? Would you like to go back in? Would you try it then? Have a little...
Oh, I would try it.
I was thinking about maybe just doing it anyway, but yeah, trial, I definitely
Trial, definitely. I think you're being sort of not imaginative enough if you say that you would get in and be willing to leave afterwards. I think once you've sampled, you will not leave. It's like drugs, You'll be hooked on the perfect life.
And you don't ever want to leave it then?
Yeah. I think if you're saying, no, once I got out, there's no situation, no scenario that would make me stay. I think you're not being very imaginative. But that's just me. So what do you guys think? Do we get in? I would get in.
Yeah, sure.
I can't say I would. I just would. I mean, going in, so you don't remember the people you're leaving behind, right?
Once you're in, you don't remember anything from your other life.
I think, like, if I was already in it, at that point, I'd want to stay, but making the choice to get in and, like, turn my back on everything, I think that would just be too hard to do.
And that's a different question. If someone came up to you with irrefutable evidence that you are currently in a simulation, this isn't real, and that you can get out, would you leave? Because this is like the same question. Would you think about all the people you left behind, even if once you get out, you're like, oh, they were simulated. They're not real people. Would you feel bad?
That's
for
a
them?
much harder question going out than.
So saying that this is a simulation and the family here that are not real.
And someone shows you sort of irrefutable evidence that this is not real.
Now, when you go back out, do you regain your memories of your old life?
Yes.
Then, if I keep using the same logic and argument, then I would probably.
So you would feel bad for the people that are currently outside of the machine.
Yes.
And you would ignore the people that you can see and interact with now.
Because if I learn that none of you guys are real, then you have no feelings.
You're not worth it.
You're not. That's interesting. You're staying sort of. A lot of people flip-flop between these two, but you're sort of sticking with your reasoning. That's nice.
Yes. Yeah,
what do you think, Jacob?
That's kind of just like. I would love to know a little bit more about the world before I made the decision to, get out.
What if your life sucks when you get out?
I know. Like, what if it'd be like, wow, that was a dumb decision.
It could be like an Inception thing. Have you guys seen Inception?
Yes.
No. Maud, her name's Maud, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. She is convinced that she's in a dream. The only way to get out is to kill herself. And sort of that is a plot point in Inception. Hey, spoiler alert, by the way, and if anybody hasn't seen Inception.
Like one of our hosts here.
So maybe we add that. Would you said you would get out of the machine, but what if the only way to get out was to simulate killing yourself in this sort of simulated reality?
Oh,
do you think you'd have the guts to do it?
Oh, I don't think I would.
No.
Because there'd always be that part of doubt in my mind, like, what if it's a lie? What if this is reality? Yeah. And that would just end my life.
And it's like, no matter how much proof you show me, some part of me would be like, nah, you can't do it.
No.
Yeah, no.
Interesting.
So what are your thoughts on
my thoughts? I would get in and I would stay in both cases. I wouldn't leave a simulation because it is, even if you don't die, I view getting out as a kind of like you're leaving behind your life. It is sort of a metaphorical suicide. But
you're going back into the life that you originally had, and if you remember your memories there, then you're reclaiming your life.
I'm sort of it's very easy to like disassociate. Like I talk about past me a lot, as if it's a different person. And this is a whole different conversation that I'm not going to have right now. But that is sort of past me made a decision, a different person made a decision to get in. He did whatever he is. And now I'm responsible for what I'm doing now. And he killed himself by getting into the machine. And that's, whatever. But I'm not going to because I'm here now. And that's how I view it. What do you think, listeners? Write in. Would you get into the machine? Would you get out? What pill do you take? Little Matrix.
Red pill. Blue pill.
So, that's my thoughts. Moving on to our second thinking man question. It is the ice cream problem, if you will. And say Jacob walks up to me and he says, hey, can you go buy me some ice cream? And I said, yes, I'll go buy you some ice cream. And he's very particular about what ice cream he wants. He wants the vanilla ice cream, and there are two vanilla ice creams. There's the real and the fake vanilla ice cream. And he says, I want the real one. Get me the real one. I won't eat the fake one. And so I go to the ice cream shop, the parlor, if you will, and the fake ice cream is half as expensive. And I know that Jacob cannot taste the difference. That his preference is completely random. And so I could get him the fake one. He wouldn't know. Should I buy the real ice cream anyways? If I buy the fake and give it to him, am I a bad person? Because I've lied. I would give it to him and say, this is the real.
You should buy me that good ice cream. I want my good ice cream.
Is it like name branding that makes the difference here? And if he doesn't know, I still think you should get what he originally requested.
Get what he requested?
Because if you've already agreed to do what he wants,
is she paying out of her pocket, or did I give her money?
No, you're paying out of your pocket. It's your money, and so you're sort of saying that by saying that you need to get him the real ice cream, what he wanted, you're saying that everything in this sort of alternate universe is the same, except you have a bit more money. But you're saying that's still bad.
I think I got a little lost with that.
So, if you buy him the real ice cream, like he wanted,
Right.
you're sort of being honest.
Mm-hmm.
But if you buy him the fake ice cream, he doesn't know. Everything about him is the same, everything about his experience. The only thing that's different is your experience, and it's worse, because you have less money.
Well, I feel like going into it, if you're already planning on getting the real ice cream, you're already willing to pay whatever much it costs going in. So,
Okay.
your expectations, if you just go in and get that, you're living up to what you thought you were going to do anyways.
So I guess if I buy him the fake, am I a bad person?
I think that would be an awful lot to make you a bad person. I don't think that would make you a bad person.
It's dishonest. Is it a bad thing to do?
I think there is a dishonesty in it.
Mm-hmm. And is that enough to say it's bad? I should not do it. I've left, by making Jacob the guinea pig in this question, I've left him out of it. What do you think, James?
I don't know.
What would you do? Let's start with that. Would you buy the real or the fake?
I would probably buy the real.
You'd buy the real? And Rebecca, I think you would buy the real.
I would go for the real.
Because I would feel like a bad person even if I was like, oh, he probably couldn't tell the difference.
It'd be like sort of unsettling in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what if he knew? What if he did know? Like, just because I think you won't be able to tell the difference, but like maybe.
It's sort of back to the, what if this is real? And it's...
And I want to be able to show him the wrapper that says, hey, look, I bought the real one.
Mm-hmm.
And you look like a good friend by spending more money, and maybe later on you can repay the favor.
You look like to who, though? You're the only one who knows.
Why wouldn't you just tell him, like, oh yeah, I had these options, but I got you the real one anyways. You owe me later.
Okay, so you'd like hang it over his head?
Well, if it's like in a friendship where someone's doing something for the other, there's a certain element of reciprocity with it.
Just to let you know, could have screwed you over, but I didn't.
But I didn't, so now you owe me. That's a little mercenary. You're like using your friends as bargaining chips. These kind acts that you've done.
Isn't that just what they are?
More extreme. I was trying to go with that, but
I would buy the fake ice cream.
Of course you would.
Because you think I'm a bad person.
But see, if the friend found out, I feel like they'd be annoyed that you just disregarded their wishes. And
what are they? Sort of a strange person if they're upset. Like they can't tell the difference. They taste exactly the same. There's absolutely no reason to prefer one over the other. Is the friend a bad person for insisting you buy the more expensive ice cream, even though he can't tell the difference?
I mean, no, because the person I was buying could have said no, and I'm not buying ice cream.
I think that's a little scummy to force your friend out of more money for no reason at all.
You agreed to go get the ice cream anyways.
You could have said no.
Exactly.
You could have said no. I guess.
And assuming you probably already know your friends like that, and is very insistent with their ice cream.
What if you buy each other ice cream? This is a normal thing. And you always say, I'll just get the fake, it's fine. Is the other friend an awful person for insisting on the real, even though it's exactly the same?
I would say no.
They're not a bad
Some
person.
people are just really, really picky.
That's fine.
Really, really paranoid about things.
It's just a mind game. Interesting. Listeners, once again, write in. What do you think about all these questions? There's a lot of them. A lot of different variations on the ice cream. And
what's your favorite type of ice cream?
My favorite type of ice cream? I'd like to pass. Rebecca, what's your favorite kind of ice cream?
My favorite is cake batter ice cream from Cold Stone Creamery. It's very specific, but it's so good.
Jacob?
Normally, I like, if I go to Dairy Queen, I like Cookie Dough Blizzard, but if I'm just like a straight type of ice cream on its own, cotton candy is like...
Cotton candy ice cream.
So good.
I think if I had to eat one ice cream for the rest of my life, it would be French vanilla.
Can't usually go wrong with vanilla.
Mm-hmm. But favorite might not be the same question. Favorite's probably Rocky Road. Locking it in. Final answer.
And you're wrong. And you don't win the $1 million.
Wrong answer. Tell us your favorite ice cream flavors, listeners. Anyways, I think Rebecca had one last... What's with that?
I do. This is not going to get onto the same moral dilemma as these other questions have been.
We need a break.
Where buying one kind of ice cream makes you a bad person or something. No, this is just a question that I heard on the internet, and I thought it was interesting. We'll see if you guys find it interesting too. So, imagine a scenario where you could go back in time any amount of time that you would like, a couple minutes, couple hours, but however much you go back in time, that amount of time is taken off of the end of your lifespan. So if you go back like a minute in time, you're shortening your life by a minute.
Okay.
Would you choose to have this ability?
So because you live a minute long, you relive the minute. If I went back in time a minute, I then live a minute.
So it's like you kind of like rewinding, but then however long your lifespan. This is assuming you have like a set amount of time.
So I rewind and like the decisions I made are undone and I can try again?
Yes, and you can do it again.
Okay.
But then, again, assuming you have a set amount of time to live, you just cost yourself like a minute at the end of your life.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So if you go back like a year, you're going to lose a year of your life, but you can totally just redo everything you
like
did.
100 years and just instantly die.
I'd really want it for like conversations, because sometimes you're like, so you say something, you're like, oh, shouldn't have said that.
It's like, I can lose that 5 seconds and redo it.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be so tempting every individual time, but I feel like I'd try a conversation like 100 times to try to get it like perfect. And then at the end of the day, you're like, man, how much did I lose? I'd lose track of how much I was cutting off. I would very quickly eat up a lot of my life, I think. And so maybe I want to, but deep down I'm like, no, you shouldn't have that power. You're going to mess it up. That's
It would be tempting to use too much.
That's my take on it.
I think I'll take the power because
you'll take the power.
Because it's not like I know how long my life's gonna be to begin with. I don't know I'm gonna live to exactly 90 years, and every time I take off, it's like
you could go, in 5 minutes anyways. So
yeah, might as well see what happens.
Might as well.
So if you rewind back like 5 minutes, then you just drop down dead.
So would you even attempt to like limit your use of it?
Probably, just to like so my life's not all fake and everything.
I don't know if I'd have the self-control. I guess would be my issue.
Maybe I'd limit like 3 times a day.
3 times a day?
Wow.
You'd limit an amount of time per day?
Couple minutes.
So you're like, you can do like the math and be like, I'm okay with my life being this % shorter.
Probably.
To have this ability. That's... What would you do, Rebecca?
I've had so many moments where like I'll just say something wrong and I wish I could redo it. So I probably would take it because I think I could have enough self-control to do it only in like those situations where I just
there's those
really
times,
want to redo it.
There's those times when you're thinking about like an argument or something you had.
And you have the perfect comeback like an hour later.
Like an hour later. Would you go back a whole hour? Would you jump hours at a time?
That seems petty, though, to go back. And
I would probably
just
do it to like social awkwardness. Like you said something stupid, and like, oh,
try again.
Yep.
Would you have a maximum time like limit that you're like, I will not jump back more than this amount of time? And if so, what would that time be?
Like overall throughout your entire life?
No, just at one time.
That makes sense.
Jump.
Like I wouldn't want to jump back more than like a day or two.
Yeah, like a day.
That would be a day or two. You wouldn't do like a year.
No, because then you have to.
Had to be a very, very bad year for me to want to go back a year.
Life, then. And if it's already going on the downhill track, you should be able to tell early on, hopefully.
And then
go back in time to before you already made the decision to get the time power.
Yeah.
Just cause you're like paradox.
This is you get a year in to do it, and then you're like, this was a bad idea. I shouldn't have this ability, and then you can just undo it.
Just say no at that point and
go back and say no. And then do you get your years back? I don't know the rules of the universe. Probably not. So it's like it's like a sunk cost, You just randomly lose a couple years of your life to test out the
you accept the risks when you accept the power, so
doesn't mean I have to like him.
You could go back in time and take a gamble for $200,000 1,000 times.
Keep redoing it until you get the money.
Keep redoing it until you get the money.
You could retake all your exams and get the right answers after you know what they
are.
Oh man, would you do that? You could be like the smartest person ever. Or the dumbest person ever, but you just know all the answers.
Really good at exams because you see the exam, study, go back, retake it.
That would be a lot of time you'd be wasting though, because you'd have to wait for the exam to get graded. And
you could get super rich. You could do the lottery, and then like every time numbers
see
come
what
out,
the winning numbers are, then go back and then.
Would probability stay the same every time you went back?
I guess that's another question.
Ooh,
does everything stay the same afterwards? Is there like a butterfly effect where you do something differently and then everything changes?
And the whole world just ends.
I don't think there's something I could do in one day or so that would affect the lottery outcomes.
I kick a rock and suddenly the Powerball numbers are
different.
Different.
Oh, there's so many levels to this.
There are.
I'd have to think about it more now. Now that I'm thinking about like causality. Ooh. But unfortunately for our listeners, we're out of time for this segment. They're gonna have to think about this on their own. We're not gonna be able to walk you. This is the Thinking Man's podcast, though. Everyone can come to their own conclusions here. And
it's just some of them are wrong, some are wrong.
We have a good variety here, so that way you tend to agree with someone, probably.
And with that, we're out of time for segment 1. What's with that? We'll stick around, listeners. We'll be back in a few seconds. And welcome back to segment 2 in the news here on the Thinking Man's podcast, renaming the whole thing. Not what's on the 4th floor anymore.
I'm sure all of our other hosts will love hearing that.
Executive decision that has just been made here. Ethan's not here. Yeah.
I don't remember electing.
We have a quorum. We don't have a quorum. Anyways, I think Rebecca has an exciting news article for us to ponder, talk about here.
I do. So, this just happened really recently. All right, I'm going to start by setting up a little scenario. Kind of leads into the article. Okay. So, imagine you're walking along the beaches of Australia, and you find a bottle in the sand. And you're really into interior decorating, so you think, oh, this would look great on my bookshelf.
Is it a glass bottle?
It is a glass bottle. Okay. And so you start pouring out the sand, and you discover there's a message inside the bottle. You take it home, dry the message out, and realize that you have found the world's oldest message in a bottle to date.
Is it dated? The message?
There is a date on it.
Just assuming.
So this basically happened to a couple in Australia. This actually happened. So they found a bottle that is 132 years old that was sent from a German ship on June 12th, 1886.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
It's just been floating around.
Yep, because the message in the bottle showed like what the name of the ship was, its coordinates, where it was going, where it came from. So it had a lot of information about the ship. So they were able to get it confirmed with records that some museum had from the ship. And it showed that the captain did release a bottle on that date. So it's very like legit. This is a bottle from a German ship.
Where it came from, when it came from, and where it got.
Yeah.
And he had the captain had recorded, "I threw a bottle into the ocean today."
Well, okay, this next part will make more
boring
sense.
Day.
It was just boring. He threw it overboard. Nah, so it was a German ship, and they were doing an experiment on ocean currents, and they were trying to find faster shipping routes. So this is part of initially going to be a 69-year experiment where they threw thousands of bottles into the sea.
Nice.
And so there were 662 other messages from this experiment that have been found and returned. And including this one, then there's still like 337 more out there just floating around that no one's actually found yet.
In the currents. Interesting. So what side of Australia was this?
Oh, I think it was near Perth.
Near Perth. I have to open my...
Where's Perth?
See, actually, it was found on Wedge Island in Western Australia.
Western, okay.
Western Australia, yep. And previous to this, the last record for the oldest bottle was 108 years. And this is 132, so it has a new record. And the last bottle was found in 1934. I think that was the one with the previous record.
So the previous record holder is 108 today, or when it was found?
That's a good question. I don't think this actually said.
Today.
Probably like from today.
Mm-hmm.
So currently this bottle that was found is the oldest known one, like from today.
Yeah, from today.
Yes.
I wonder, like, so after they found the bottle, they take it to like a museum or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So first they took it home because, pretty bottle.
Yeah.
And then they dried out the paper like in the oven a little bit, and it had a bunch of German. One of them could read German. He read it, saw the date, and then they took it to a museum because they realized that it was just an incredible thing that they found.
Piece of paper.
Yes.
They could have just kept it and just never told anyone.
That's true. I don't know if they got to keep the bottle. I don't think they got to keep anything from it.
Oh,
I think they turned it all over.
They took their bottle.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have done it.
But yeah, because the museum was the one that helped them confirm that it was legit by looking at the records from the ship that it came from. Because the paper had the name of the ship, so they were able to confirm, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Who do you think put the first message in a bottle?
What is the oldest message in a bottle that could possibly be found?
Yeah, like why? Like what made the first person do it? Like
bottles float.
Actually, I do have some fun facts about messages in bottles that might kind of go along with that.
All right.
They've been a thing since 310 BC.
Well, there you go.
And you can thank the Greeks for it. There's a Greek philosopher named Theophrastus. Don't know if I'm saying that right. Does that sound right?
Sounds
you
good.
who speaks Greek?
I
don't speak Greek, but it sounds fine.
I can translate Greek if you give me several hours.
He was testing a theory about ocean currents, basically. And so that's how he did it. And that's kind of what they're still used for today, because there's these things called drift bottles that researchers still use for a similar purpose.
You can thank the Greeks for a lot of things.
Yeah.
They were doing stuff.
They're pretty good at what they
do. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And sort of sailing and currents and all that was a really big deal in Greek culture, ancient Greek culture. So it makes sense that they'd be fiddling with ocean currents.
And just learning more about how the ocean works too is pretty cool.
Maybe someone was just throwing trash in the ocean. It was like, and it's like, I'll put this piece of paper inside the bottle, and then there was like a document or something. There was the first message in a bottle, whether we realized it or not.
Litter.
Yeah, and I have a few other stories involving messages in bottles that I thought were interesting. I should let you know now they don't have very happy endings.
Oh.
No. Don't get your expectations too high.
How could a message in a bottle story end bad?
Nobody finds it.
So here's a story where there was a group of Japanese castaways on an island. They were stranded, so you can see how this is going to end.
Oh no.
Before they all died, one
sea turtles
threw a bottle into the ocean, and it was found 150 years later.
Oh.
I think it was also found in Japan. But yeah, it was a bit late.
A little late on that one. Whoops.
Yep. Here's one that's even more, well, not more tragic, but it's kind of eerie. So there's a passenger on the Titanic who, as the Titanic was sinking, he sent a message out to sea as farewell to his family in the bottle. And a year later, it actually washed up near his family's home.
Oh, man.
So they got the message a year after the Titanic sank.
He was just really an oceanographer, and he knew, aimed
he just
it.
knew
I know exactly
where
this current is going to go.
I have to place this bottle exactly here for it to get to my
That's got to be some, dedication to, you're on a sinking ship, and the first thing you think is, I'm going to throw a bottle in the ocean.
Well, he probably knew that there was just no escape, and he wanted to say goodbye to his family.
The Titanic sinking took a really long time, didn't it? It took, hours.
I think there was, a band or something that kept playing as it was sinking. So there was time.
The time between, when we realize this ship is sinking and there's nothing we can do about it to it actually being completely submerged is hours.
I know, but still you think of I can see someone just running by the table. What are you doing? Writing a note.
It was a really short note too, but.
As it would be. He doesn't have time to write a novel on a sinking ship.
Well, you said it was a couple hours. You could write a really good one.
He could write it. Maybe it was a heartfelt note,
I think
he also probably had some other stuff going on. He was trying to not
drown,
die and
not
stuff.
Die.
Poor guy.
Yep.
Poor guy.
And then there's
Too
another.
Soon, man. Get back to the Titanic.
Anyways, there's another story from World War One. So there's a British World War I soldier, and he sent a bottle to his wife, and then I think it was a pilot, and 2 days later he actually ended up dying. The bottle was discovered 85 years later, and at this point his wife had already passed away, but their daughter was still alive, so she was able to get the bottle from her father, because she was only 1 year old when he died. So she got this message when she's 86. So that's kind of sweet.
That's really nice, yeah.
Yeah, stays with the family.
Messages in a bottle. It's impressive that that any show up at all, It's they withstand just being in the ocean. I'm sure most of them. I wonder what the percentage is, what the chances.
What's the failure rate?
What's the failure rate of messages in a bottle?
I mean, if it's sturdy glass and you have it corked, it can float long ways.
Mm-hmm.
And hoping that no sea life eats it or anything.
Doesn't smash on some rocks or something.
Yep. And then I have one more story. This one is a little nicer. It doesn't end in death. So in 1956...
I'm not interested. Go on.
Anyways, 1956, there was a Swedish sailor. He sent out a letter in a bottle, hoping to find love. He was lonely. He was lovesick.
It's desperate.
Didn't have Tinder yet.
Exactly. This is the only way to do it. You just send out a bottle.
A bunch of bottles.
Throw it right.
With some selfies.
But a woman found the bottle 2 years later, and she reached out to him and was like, you were looking for a beautiful woman. That might not be me, but I found this bottle, and I feel like I should just reach out to you. And they started up a correspondence, and he ended up moving to where she lived, and they got married.
Oh my, that's awesome. It worked.
It did.
What are the odds? There's probably a pretty high failure rate on, finding love with bottles.
But this guy managed to get
What's
married
crazy,
from it.
it came so quickly, just a couple of years. Like,
Yeah,
all these other ones are like, yeah, it floated for like 8 years.
The Titanic one, that only took a year to
That's
get to
amazing.
their family's home. But then you get the one from those castaways that showed up 150 years later, so there's quite a wide range.
I've only heard of exactly one person trying the finding love through a message in a bottle, and it worked. So 100% success rate. Hey, everyone get out and try it. Don't the secret, the online dating
companies. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Don't want you to know.
Yeah, if you don't want to do Tinder, this is the other alternative.
Yeah.
Except for us here in Nebraska, who are just surrounded by land, don't really have an ocean to throw a bottle
just
into.
Throw a note in the wind.
Yeah, put like a parachute on it and just
send it with one of those red Nebraska balloons.
Yeah, with a balloon. It'll end up in Kansas.
Some farmer's field.
But what if you find love?
Yeah. We the people from all these dating sites they're gonna come after us. We can't let the world know that they don't need the sites, just bottles.
And you have to be patient. This guy took 2 years. Sometimes it takes 150.
Yeah. Which is that was your last story?
Yes, that was all I had.
Sometimes it takes 150 years is a perfect segue into my news article. Hey-oh, I love it when that
becomes a little less of a perfect segue when you mention that it's a segue.
It could have sounded so intentional, but now...
You can get on them and scoot around. Anyways, I have here one expert's, I forget what they called him, a futurologist, Dr. Ian Pearson, claims that humanity is on the brink of immortality technology.
Oh, no.
And the idea that you will not die of old age. I think he claims, if you were born after 1970, there's a fairly good chance that you will not possibly die of old age, that we will have solved the aging problem.
So what you're saying is we can take that time travel technology for that gift from last segment.
Oh, and if you're not going to die...
Oh, with this new information...
but this is just you're not dying of old age. You could still die from, other causes.
If you get your, head cut off,
yeah.
You're still going to... If you jump into the sun...
Not if you believe.
You're still going to die. But, yeah, he claims that by 2050, the technology will advance to where the rich and powerful are able to, keep themselves alive forever. And swiftly after that, 10 to 20 years, he thinks it will be sort of commercial class immortality technology. And he claims that we'll do this by sort of being able to just replace any old body parts.
We're going to become cyborgs?
He thinks 3D printing organs and things are going to be a big part of this. If you ever need a heart transplant or something, you can just make a new one.
You just print a heart.
Yeah, and so he claims that we'll be able to sort of take people back and be physically, in their 30s forever. And another possible avenue of doing this is uploading your sort of brain to computers and living in a sort of simulated environment forever, which is slightly different and maybe even links back to the experience machine. Hey-oh.
Say this all just
it's all
links
connected.
Together.
We planned it out. We didn't.
No, we didn't.
But the listeners don't have to know that this is all coincidence.
We just don't tell them that that's not intentional.
Don't tell them.
They'll never know.
Carson, don't tell them.
Don't let them know.
Anyways, it would be there's a few things to talk about here. First of all, how bad would it feel to be the last person to die of old age? It's like you missed the boat by a couple days. That'd be
sad.
That'd be really tragic.
But I feel like one of the main problems that's going to happen really quickly is overcrowding, like overpopulation. Unless we're able to move to Mars or start colonizing other planets.
I think if your
population control.
I think if your civilization is advanced enough to be immortal, we figured out the other problems as well. Hopefully by 2050, 2060. But how does that make you feel? You and me, the people in this room have, according to this doctor's opinion, have a very good chance of being potentially living forever.
We got a lot of podcasting to do.
We got a lot of. There's going to be a lot of
Infinite
episodes.
podcasts.
You buckle up, listeners. We'll be having 3 billion seasons.
Welcome to season 8,492, episode 10.
I wonder what that would do to your brain, though.
Yeah.
With, like, all that memory and experience. Like, are you just going to, like... Because your brain is finite. It has a finite capacity. You're not going to be able to, like, remember everything.
And flash drives.
Well, you just start... See, that is, potentially brain augmentation to where you can remember almost everything. Like, you just plug in terabytes of memory to your brain. But say right now, the brain is really impressive, You can remember things for 15 years and not even, like, attempt to remember it.
This is actually funny because I'm taking psych right now and we're just starting the unit on memory.
On like, long-term memory and stuff? Because some things you just remember, and for no reason. You didn't, like, memorize them. They're just there. Like, experiences you had. And so I wonder if this scales up infinitely. You can remember something that happened to you 2,000 years ago.
That would be weird.
They'd probably like start to become more and more spaced apart because things would become less and less important to you, like because you've seen them before.
Yeah,
you've lived for 2,000 years.
Because there's also the phenomenon of years feeling shorter as you have lived more.
Ooh. So time would just fly.
Yeah, if you live to be 1 billion, do hundreds and hundreds of years pass by in what feels like an instant? And you sort of exponentially see you. This sort of gets me. I'm getting a little excited right here. You would like watch. Say you lived forever, trillions of years. You would like watch the universe die in front of you. You would die with the universe.
Oh. Now, what I would be worried about is like being just really desensitized to things.
Yeah.
Like once you've seen it, like. I mean, look at our culture when like horrible events happen. When they happen much more frequently, and you experience it a lot, it loses its shock value. So I'm afraid of like just regular human events. Like if you live for that long, is anything really going to matter to you anymore?
You'd be so far above everything that happens
in
like the world around you.
Like birthdays, if you're celebrating your 1,000th birthday, they're just.
How would you spend your time? Like what would your pastime become?
Really, it's my 1,000th birthday, and you're giving me a gift card to McDonald's.
It would be incredible. It's sort of unimaginable living that long for thousands of years.
I don't think we're meant to live that long.
Yeah, but it could happen. We'll see. We'll find out.
But then
us 3 in this room might find out what it's like.
I have another problem though, because like if someone dies, a lot of people find comfort in if you believe in like an afterlife that you get to meet up with them in death. But if you're gonna live forever and someone you love dies, you're just stuck.
Yeah, it would kind of like
them.
replace like. Okay, I'm not going to die of just being old anymore. I'm just
but you can
waiting for whatever
just,
event that's going to kill me.
You would just like progressively start doing riskier and riskier things because you're like, I kind of want to stop.
Getting kind of bored.
I got bored of being alive.
Or you just like miss people, and if that's like the only way you can see them.
Skydiving sounds fun.
Yes, and is it? I guess there's another sort of touchy question. Is that if it is readily available to be able to live forever, and you don't, is that like suicide? Is intentionally like not doing something to save your life?
I feel like we'd always have people that would do that, even if we had immortality technology. There would be people that would just be like, "This is the natural."
I don't want to.
The naturalists or something.
Yeah, it's like the natural way of things. People don't believe humans are meant to live forever. So.
I suppose. You wouldn't, though. You wouldn't live to be trillions of years old because, like, every day when you wake up, there's some statistical chance that you're gonna get hit by a meteor or something, and then eventually it's just gonna happen.
The records for oldest living human would be a lot more impressive, though.
Yeah, it would.
That's true.
It wouldn't be a game of
but it would also probably be like really, really kind of scary because you'd probably have people like, I want to be the oldest person. We got to take that guy out.
It'd be like a competition. Because you can't just wait them out because everybody lives forever. It'd be like a game of luck.
Oh.
Who doesn't get hit by a meteor for long enough?
Now, would diseases still be a thing?
Diseases.
Could diseases still kill you?
I mean, with the idea of sort of replacing body parts, I think if there's a disease that like affects something, you can just fix it by getting a new one. But
what if your brain has a disease?
Yeah, so I think that wouldn't be you anymore, would it? If you replace your brain.
Exactly.
I think that would be the last sort of venue of disease that would actually kill people. This,
if it goes for the brain.
And I think this is I think about this a lot, actually. Sort of not dying.
Mm-hmm.
It is... I've always sort of thought that maybe there's a non-zero chance, like some slim chance. But here, Dr. Pearson says it's almost certainly going to happen, which I think is exciting. A bold new world. And people, like science, would advance so much faster. Because the problem is all the great scientists die. They get old and die. But if they didn't, and they just kept, like if Einstein was just still alive and doing stuff
in their prime
forever, in their prime, that'd be incredible. The technology and civilization would advance so much faster because all the greatest people was. But then, the world, the universe would be flooded with great minds, and then who are you? Nobody. And we're out of time on the Thinking Man's podcast.
Keeps going with
Otherwise
that
known
theme.
as What's on the Fourth Floor. We're
Otherwise
not
known as
officially changed in name.
What's on the Fourth Floor? That's this episode. The episode title is Thinking Man's Podcast. Probably not.
I thought you were saying the episode's title was What's on the Fourth Floor of the thing.
Yeah, we'll switch it. Anyways, we're out of time. We'll see you in a few seconds for a lighthearted game to clean up this heavy, thought-provoking podcast. We'll see you in a few seconds, listeners. And welcome back to segment 3. Game something. I don't think it has a name. It's the part where we do the game. Everybody's favorite
What's
part.
on the game?
What's on the game?
I think we made that joke before.
And Jacob, what is the game for today?
This week's game is based off the elements of the periodic table.
Fire, earth, water, air.
Well, I think I know
Energy.
who's going to win. All right, so it's pretty much just a multiple choice trivia game. I'll give you guys. You'll have a chance. One person will have a chance to answer, and if they get it wrong, the other person can guess to steal.
We can steal.
So this is the person who goes. So there is no difference in whoever goes first or second. Then
yes,
this was established a while
mathematically.
Yeah. Okay.
I love
so
math.
the first 4 questions are of the WOFF classic Spot the Fake. That we've had popular on our
I feel like
first episode.
this sounds doable.
Getting back to our roots
Maybe
here.
we should think of something different every once in a while. Let's not spot the fake, but we'll let Rebecca go first because on a previous episode she was robbed because of Carter's cut audio.
Yes.
Yes, on the one where we were guessing paint color names, I actually won that, but there were some audio issues and it ended as a tie.
I deny all of this. It didn't happen.
It was completely your fault.
It's a conspiracy.
Okay, Rebecca. Question 1. Which of these 3 elements is not a real element on the periodic table? Bavarium, hafnium, or lutetium?
I've heard of none of these. I should know these.
There's a lot of elements.
There are.
How many? Is it like 106?
It's in the hundreds for sure.
I was about to look it up, but looking up a periodic table.
I think it's gone up to like unum pentium or something or other.
Probably cheating right now.
Okay, so there's bavarium, hafnium,
and lutetium.
Bavarium is like cream, yeah? It's like cheese.
I think the Bavaria in Germany. So, but there are elements named after like countries and places and people.
Americium and
Mendelevium.
Californium.
This is just a stall because I don't know. I'll go with the second one. Hafnium?
Hafnium?
Yes, I'm going to go with that.
And that is wrong. Carter?
I'm going with my Bavarium is like, it's like some sort of food, isn't it? So it's Bavarium's not on it.
And that is correct.
Hey!
I looked this up. Basically, I found a Wikipedia page that lists fictional elements in different games.
So we're gonna
and
sound
Bavarium
real.
is an element in the game Just Cause 3. It is unique to the islands of Medici and is said to be very explosive and weirdly magnetic.
Yeah.
So my
And
lack of game knowledge
hafnium
will
is
help.
element 72, and lutetium is element 71.
I figured that one was real,
it's
but
Bavarian cream is a dessert.
Bavarian cream,
probably
like,
from Bavaria,
consisting of milk thickened
guessing.
with eggs.
which
and
in English
gelatin.
is Bayern. That's how we know it, but it's
Bayern?
Bavaria. Yeah.
Ah.
All right, so that's question 1 out of the way. And Carter,
What did I get? What did I win?
you get 1 point.
1 point. 0.
So Carter, guess you have the second question. Which of these elements is fake? Thulium, protactinium, or durium?
Tholium. Protactinium.
Protactinium
Or
or durium?
durium makes me think of durian, which is a fruit. So I'm leaning towards that initially. Protactinium sounds made up. So, there's a case to be made for that. What's the first one again?
Thulium.
Thulium. That's the only one I'm just like, that's probably there. There's gotta be a thulium somewhere in there. So many elements. So it's between protactinium and durium. Durium, it's not durian. I don't think I can stick with the food correlations forever. That's not the strategy. So I'm going to guess that protactinium is the fake. It's like vibranium.
So Rebecca, what's your guess? Because Carter's wrong.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, I thought he was right. Well,
it better not be durium.
Protactinium is element 91 on the periodic table.
I feel like durium is real. So what was the first one?
Durium or thulium?
I'm gonna go with thulium.
And that is also wrong.
It was
Thulium
durium.
is element 69. Durium
Nice.
is a fake element from the series of science fiction novels written by Edward Elmer Doc Smith, known as Lensman.
Ooh. It is. You get I had a strategy and it would have worked. I'm beating myself up right now.
So no points awarded on the second.
Gotta do the food ones.
Well,
And we'll start with Becca again
All
for
right.
question 3. Which of these is the fake?
hopefully this goes better.
Erbium, ruthenium, or actinium?
I'm still winning.
Yep.
Just
Yes.
for
Yes,
those
we're
who
aware.
are
Yep.
not keeping up.
Okay. Erbium, ruthenium, or
Actinium.
actinium. I'm gonna go with actinium. That's a fake.
It's wrong.
Darn it.
Yeah,
I'm so
actinium
bad
was
at
the only
this.
one on that list where I was like, I've heard of actinium. That is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I kind
Not-
of threw in there because I thought like there's protactinium and like actinium.
Yeah, I was like,
That'd be-
So what are my two options?
Your
that are
two
not
options
being
now are erbium or ruthenium.
I thought those were both
Erbium
real.
or Ruth with a TH?
Ruthenium.
What?
Ruthenium.
With a TH.
TH.
Okay, Ruthium.
Ooh.
That sounds like someone's name. It's named after Herbert P. Ruth of the Ruth clan. So Ruthium's got to be real. That's we name them after people. Finemium was like maybe going to be an element name for the latest round that has come out of elements. So it's the other one, not Ruthium.
Erbium?
Erbium. I know ytterbium, but not erbium. Erbium's fake.
It is real. It is element 68 of the periodic table.
Ruthenium's not real?
Ruthium, basically this one I just totally made up. I basically took ruthenium and took out the "ene" and just put ruthium.
I was thinking it would be named after like Rutherford. I was like, okay, that sounds like
Yeah,
a person.
Rutherford B. Hayes, he invented elements. Little known fact.
And so, yeah, erbium is element 68.
It's also
and
false.
Actinium
Yes.
is element 89.
Well, this is going great.
Okay, Carter, question 4.
Oh,
Which of these ain't real? Herium, Darmstadtium, or Hessium?
these are dumb. Who named these? What were they again?
Well, he named one of
Herium,
them. So.
Herium. Not fair.
Darmstadtium,
Darmstadtium.
or Hessium?
Darmstadtium is too ridiculous to have been made up, so it's real. Right? We're going with the reverse psychology.
Keep in mind, these could be in like fake universes like Star Trek.
I don't think some author would have made up
Darmstadtium.
Darmstadtium. And so I'm gonna go with Herium. Option 1.
And that is right. Right.
Hey!
Darn it. This is not good.
Yep, I totally made this one off the top of my head. For some reason, I was thinking about rabbits, and I was like, Herium, that sounds funny.
Rabbits.
So I'm thinking maybe it's
I
like
thought
a
of Harry
secret
Potter
element.
immediately.
So
I
that's
just didn't
2
think of
for
anything,
Carter, and
You're a
so-
chemist,
no points
Harry.
for Rebecca.
Yep, my comeback is not
Go to
going
potion
great.
I'm not really sure if you can come back. I gotta see unless you steal the
Can we
points.
call
Well-
chemistry potions class?
We should.
We could. All right, so Rebecca, you gotta get this one right if you want to have a chance.
Yeah, I know.
And then we're done with the what's the fake round. Now
Okay.
we're going into stats.
We'll make these double
Oh.
Jeopardy.
Oh,
Just
no.
2 questions here. Which of these elements has an atomic mass of 270 or greater?
That's quite heavy.
Or greater.
Roentgenium, curium, or seaborgium? Seaborgium. I don't know how you say that.
Named after
Well, at least I know they're all real.
Leonard Seaborg.
Okay, so what was the mass? What has to be greater than?
Of greater than 270 or greater.
that being the
Atomic
combined
mass.
protons and neutrons in the nucleus of said atom.
Okay.
Look at that. Learning already.
Yep.
All right. Can you tell me my options again?
Roentgenium, curium, or seaborgium? Seaborgium.
I honestly have no idea, so we're just gonna guess the first one that you said.
Roentgenium?
Yes.
That is correct. It has a mass of 272
Sweet.
atomic mass units.
Pro strat.
Yeah, just guess.
Pick one.
I have a point.
So now, if you want to tie this, Rebecca, Carter has to get this wrong.
And then I have to steal it correctly.
Never happening. Never in a million years.
So Carter, a lot of elements, they're named after places.
Uh-huh.
Which of these is not named after a place? Polonium, strontium, or flerovium?
Oh, no.
I thought they were going to be really easy, like europium or something.
Yeah, you're going to give me, like, americium, germanium.
I had made up,
real.
at one point I had made up, like, Australium, but then I was like, that'd be too obvious.
Germanium and lead. Run it by me again, Chives.
Polonium.
Polonium.
Strontium. Or flerovium.
I'm going to go flerovium. I know places aren't called Florida. That's a place with a so it's not flerovium. I'm gonna go with strontium. It reminds me of Stromboli, and I know that the food strat has been working so far.
And that is wrong.
Dang.
Okay.
Strontium is a town in Scotland.
Oh.
So, Rebecca, your choices are polonium or flerovium.
Polonium or flerovium?
And which one of these is not named after a place?
Now, I claimed that flerovium was the only one that was surely not.
See, I had agreed with that because I was thinking of like Florence or Florida. Probably not Florida, but I was thinking like Florence. Polonium. Could that be Poland, though?
But a great
Darn, I
chemist
can think of
coming out
examples for
Poland.
both. This isn't helping.
But do either of them remind you of a food off the top of your head?
What?
Do either of them remind you of a food off the top of your head?
Not really. So that's not... I mean, that didn't do anything for you this time. So...
You're right. Failed strategy.
Because usually he'll say something's surely real, and then sometimes it's not. I'm going to go with flerovium.
Flerovium is correct. It is named after a Russian scientist who discovered it. And polonium
Winning
is named after
strategy.
Poland.
Ah, that's right.
So we take it to the tie.
Tiebreak.
All
Tiebreaker
right. Oh,
round.
my audio's cutting out. That's
Mega
it.
exciting.
All right.
So, how familiar are you guys with the 4 new elements? Don't say them if you don't. The 4 ones that were added in 2016.
I have heard them at least once somewhere.
Okay. Okay, maybe I'll go to my backup question. Maybe.
No,
you
give me
shouldn't have
that
admitted
question.
it.
I should have lied.
Okay, there were 4 that were added: Nihonium, Moscovium, Tennessine, and Oganesson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll let you guys each have a guess which one of these, its symbol, it's like hydrogen is H, or whatever.
Yes.
Which of these is the 2 letters are the same as the first 2 letters of the name of the element?
Only one of them.
Only one of them follows that.
No.
Okay.
So I'll let Rebecca go first.
Total guess.
She was going first. So which one? Nihonium, Moscovium, Tennessine, or Oganesson?
It's probably not that last one. Can you spell these, or like, can you spell that last one for me?
Oganesson.
Okay. Well, it wasn't spelled
Can you
how
use
I
it
thought
in a
was.
sentence? Country of origin, please.
I think it's from Japan. I think that's what it's named after someplace.
He
No, is that
actually knows all
Nihonium? I
these.
can't remember. I don't know. I didn't look them up that deep.
That sounds like that could be an element, honestly.
OG. Original gangster, as they say.
Og. It would help with trying to spell stuff with
Yeah.
element names
And
like
it's
people
like,
try to do.
is TE already an element somewhere? Maybe. I can't picture the whole table.
Yeah, I think one of these is already one. but
Okay,
I'm not
so
gonna
my
say
options
which one.
are OG, TE, and what were the other ones again?
Moscovium
MO.
or Nihonium.
How do you spell that one?
Nihoni.
NI is already nickel. I shouldn't have told you that, but
Thank you. Okay, it's not that one.
it cannot be neonium.
Well, it'll help you if I get this wrong. I'm gonna go with the Ogs, whatever that last
Oganesson.
one. Oganesson.
Okay, and what are you going to say?
Oh, I'm not gonna know. She's right. I'm going to go with, and if we both miss, is it the dealer wins?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with TE. I think is surely one already. So no, it's not. You only said one of them was. So I have Tennessine and
Well, I only knew one like straight at the back. I wasn't 100% sure. I
Okay.
didn't look.
Tennessine and what's my other option?
Moscovium.
Moscovium. MO. I gotta go with Tennessine. Is now TE on the periodic table.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Carter. Tennessine is TS,
Ah.
and Rebecca is right. She wins. It was Agnes and his OG.
I had no choice.
All right, is your audio still working?
Not after I corrupt it all. I'll never lose.
He did it on purpose last time. He didn't want to lose.
And with that, we're out of time, dear listeners.
And hopefully my win will survive.
Hopefully the win
audio
will still be in the record books.
Yes.
Not after I'm done with it. Carson owes me a favor. But you've been listening to What's on the Fourth Floor.
Did you get him some ice cream?
Yeah, the fake ice cream. No, I bought you the real ice cream, Carson. Cut it out. You've been listening to What's on the Fourth Floor. But what is on the fourth floor? Ice cream parlors, experience machines, these sorts of things.
There's a whole pile of bottles with messages in them.
It's all of the rest of the 200 and whatever.
Well, there's like 300 more.
Just hanging out
in fake elements.
And fake elements. Little bottles of them.
The varium is real.
We make it. We make it ourselves in our brain.
Hello? If you're still here, it's because you're looking for more. If that's the case, check us out on Facebook at What's on the Fourth Floor and Twitter at OnFloor4. Again, that's Facebook, What's on the Fourth Floor, Twitter at OnFloor4. That's at OnFloor, the number 4.